UK non-profit organisation that supports evidence-based debate on energy, climate policy and climate science. Christian, it's good to talk to you. Thanks for joining us. And let me ask you, first of all, just to give us a bit of an insight into why last year was so hot and whether or not this is going to be the new normal.
Well, I'd be careful with the phrase new normal, because what we're seeing is that things are still getting worse. We're not in a stable new climate, but instead we're in an increasingly volatile climate where we've seen more extreme heat, heavier rainfall, and more frequent shocks. So if 2025 is confirmed as the hottest year on record, then that will mean that 4 of the 5 hottest years we've ever seen in the UK have happened in the last 5 years. 10 of the hottest have happened in the last 20 years, and so on. So what you can see is really we're in an increasingly extreme climate with meaningful ramifications for farmers, for consumers, and so on. So unfortunately, we're not quite in a new normal yet where things have settled down, but a more extreme and volatile climate.
So what's the answer? What's the way out of this trajectory, or what looks like a trajectory for the weather and the climate in the UK and around the world, I guess?
Yeah, so 2 main answers, really. One is that we need to bring our emissions down swiftly to net zero to bring our climate back into balance as much as possible and limit the negative impacts of climate change on people. And then the second point to make is that we need to invest heavily in adaptation. So that means, when we're talking about farmers, investing in ways that are more resilient to more extreme weather, whilst also reducing the emissions that come from that production. So yeah, investing in adaptation as well as reducing emissions to net zero.
And do you think that that is likely to continue at the pace that it should do or has to for anything to change?
In terms of reducing emissions, yes. So we've seen some progress over the past 10 years. So it's 10 years since the Paris Agreement. And what we've seen is that the rollout of solar has exceeded expectations massively. I think by some analysis, it's 1,400% higher than we previously anticipated. So there are definitely some positive stories there. We've kind of crossed a tipping point in terms of the economics that underpin the solar rollout, as well as that of electric vehicles. So there's real positives there. Similarly, compared to then, we've got 70 countries where they've agreed a legal framework around climate change, which again is another positive. But there's still a long way to go, and we need to rapidly bring down emissions in the coming years. I think this decade, the IPCC said that we need to halve emissions globally, so we've still got some way to go.
Chris, good to talk to you. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Still to come on The World Today, the battle of